All right, there we go. So we're still graphing U-shapes. How do you know? How do you look at that and know it's a U-shape? X is squared. X squared's a U-shape, right? But what's the difference this time? There's a different look. This problem compared to all the ones I just did in the last section. What's the difference? What's missing? The parentheses. Do everybody see that? There's no parentheses, right? When there's no parentheses, you can't just do opposite same. Remember, it was opposite of what's in the parentheses, and I don't even have parentheses now. So that method isn't going to work. Is everybody tracking with me? You sure? Everybody hearing me? We can't do the method we did in the last section, which was nice and easy because we could do opposite same right away. That was opposite of what's in the parentheses. But we don't even have parentheses this time, so we need a new method. When there's no parentheses, you cannot do opposite same, right? So what do you do then? You say x equals, what's the quadratic formula? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of blah, 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 all over 2a. Yeah, just use that part of the quad. Just use the negative b over 2a part. Forget about the plus or minus square root part. Just use x equals negative b over 2a, and that will be how you find the x coordinate for the center. So it's a little more work. We can't just say opposite. We have to do a little bit of work. Negative b over 2a. Now, what's the a and the b?
A is 1, b is 12.
Yeah, is everybody good with that? A is the number in front of x squared, like back when we're doing the quad, and b is the number that comes next, huh? A, B, and C. Remember the A, B, and C thing? Just like before, A, B, and C. So x equals negative b over 2. Remember, that negative sign is in addition to whatever sign that comes with b itself, right? So that's negative b, what's b? Negative 12, double negative, over 2a, 2 times 1. So that's 12 over 2, 6. So x is 6. That's the x-coordinate. That's half of the center. You know, normally we just go opposite same. That's the opposite. That's the x-coordinate. But now we need the y-coordinate also for the center. I need the center of the U-shape. I've got the x-coordinate now from the formula negative b over 2a. Now, I did that like magic. Like, why does negative b over 2a give you the center of a U-shape? There's a deep calculus reason for that. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Plug in 6 anywhere x is?
Yeah, now we can just plug in the 6, huh? So now to find y, just plug that in. Just plug it in. So plug in. So number 1, get x from negative b over 2a. Number 2, plug in x to find y. So you got to do a fair bit more work to find things. So plug in x. Okay, here, plug in where? Up here. So it's going to be x squared. What is x? 6. 6 squared minus 12 times 6 minus 5. So that's 36 minus 72 minus 5 minus 41. Y is minus 41. So we got x and we got y. 6 minus 41, is that good? That's a funny center, huh? Way down, negative 41. So they want the vertex 6, negative 4. Is that all they want on this one? Oh, they want everything, huh? Okay, so that is the center. So let me go to a fresh screen here. Is that okay? Everybody got that copy down? So what do you do to find the center? You do the special formula, which you want to write in your 3x5 card. It's the outside of the quadratic formula. The quad without the plus or minus root part. Negative b over 2a, that's your x value. Plug in that x to the original equation to find your y value. Got your x and your y. Now we're going to graph it. So what was it? It was over 6, down 41. So I'm just going to say it's something like here. Over 6, down 41. So it's right there. Now, does this U shape go up or down? How do we know? Let me write the equation right here again for us. Yeah, you can still use my slope trick. That part will still work, and we avoid a lot of hard work by that. What slope's in the front? 1 over 1, huh? It's just whatever's in the very front of the x squared. That is like a slope. So that means rise 1, run 1. So go up 1, right 1, and also left 1. So there it is. There's my U shape. Kind of bad drawing, sorry. There we go. And then they're going to ask all the same questions. What's the line of symmetry? That's the line that goes right through here. That's the x coordinate, right? X is 6. You okay? Line of symmetry is always x equals the x coordinate of the center, just like it was in the last section. Does this one have a max or a min?
A minimum.
Everybody okay with that? It has a minimum value. It has a lowest value. It has a bottom, huh? What's the bottom of that thing? It's the y value. Negative 41. That's as low as it goes. Negative 41. But it goes up forever. Right? So we got the line of symmetry, the max or min, and we got a graph. And we're done. Is that good? Does everybody see the difference in this section? So on the next exam, what is it, Monday? Monday, yeah. Monday's exam, we're going to have some that have the parentheses squared, probably 2 of them. Out of the 25 questions, probably 2 that have, I'm sure there's 2, that have parentheses squared. You'll do opposite same. And then 2 of these kind that don't have parentheses squared, so they're harder. And instead of opposite same, you've got to do x is negative b over 2a to find x, and then plug in to find y. Right? The rest is the same. All right. There's our picture. Let's go to the Math Excel version. All right. So there's our picture. Right there. Where's the? It's hard to tell where the original was. Can you tell the original axis system was right here and right here? There's the original axis system. I drew it. Why did I draw that new one? Oh, it was the splitting line. Yeah. Anyway, so it's over to the right and down. So which one of those is over to the right and down? Yeah, it's A, huh? It's that one. Is that good? Easy? Still pretty easy, huh? Not too terrible. All right. Give that one a try. So graph that U shape. How we doing? So x equals negative b over 2a. Right, the outside of the quad, right? The part of the quad without the plus or minus root. A is negative 1, B is 10, C is 2. Good. Negative 10 over 2 times A. Negative 10 over negative 2, positive 5. X is positive 5. So that's step 1. What do you do to find y? Plug it in. Negative 25 plus 50 plus 2. I'm thinking 27.
25 plus 50 is not 27.
It's negative 25. That negative is not squared, right? Only the x is squared, not the negative in front of the x. Everybody good on that? You guys watch out there that you didn't square that negative. Remember, a negative in front of x squared, that negative is not in the square, right? Everybody okay? Is everybody seeing that? Does everybody know what I'm talking about there? That when I plug in 5, remember, so probably the easiest way to go is when you plug into a formula, put parentheses around whatever you plug in. So I'm putting parentheses around this 5 when I plug it in. The minus sign that's on the x squared is the negative 1 sitting in the front of that, not part of the square. So I got y is 27. So the vertex, the center of the U-shape, is 5, 27. That's the x and the y. 527. We good? So can you graph it now and answer the other questions? Is that making sense? Questions I can help with? All right. Yeah, and it's okay. I'm going to go dot, dot, dot. You know the rest, right? Is U shape going up or down?
Down.
Down. Is that okay? Because there's a negative in the front. Right? There's a negative in the very front. So remember, the front is your slope. So it's negative 1 over 1 in the very front. That's slope. Down. That U shape's going down. Good? All right. So y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 6. So try that one. Same kind of thing. Find the center. Why can't we just do opposite same? What's missing? Yeah, no parentheses, right? Will you remember that on exam day a week from today? There's no parentheses. Got to do opposite same. You can put it on your 3x5 card. Put a little of each of these. Question?
Should you simplify or no?
Like factor out of 2? I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong, but I don't think it would help a lot. Negative b over 2a. So 12 over 4, 3. Did you get x equals 3? And then plug that in to find y. Is it minus 12? For y?
Yeah.
So we got the center. 3 minus 12. That good? Is this U-shape going up or down? How do we know it's going up? Positive 2 in the front. 2 over 1, it's going up. And that's enough. I'll go dot, dot, dot. You can do the rest, right? Good. I'll crank on to the next one. Let me know if you got questions. You let me know if you want to have other questions or I'm going too fast. So let's try this. So y equals minus 2x squared plus 2x plus 9. Same thing. Find the center. Oh, no, that's too easy. There's nothing special there. I'm going to move on. Some of these are going to have fractions. I want to get to one of those. So let's try this one. I'm not sure what this one's going to do. Give it a try. What's the A, B, and C? So let me rewrite it. You don't have to, but it might help you. Minus x squared plus no x at all plus 8. That's really what it's saying, huh? Everybody see that? So the A is -1, the B is 0, and the C is 8. So everybody see that? There is no B there, huh? There's no regular x term, right? Everybody see that? The A is -1, right? A is what's in front of x squared, -1. B is the x term, which isn't there, 0.
So it's just 0. It can't be -0.
You can do -0 if you prefer. Won't make any difference. How much money do you have? -0. Just means 0.
It's like an exclamation point.
So there's A, B, and C. So plug them in. Everybody okay with that? Not rewriting there. So x is -b over 2a. -0 over 2 times -1. 0 over anything. 0.
So wouldn't that make y 0 also?
Plug it in and see.
10 times 0 is 0. Oh wait, no. 0 is 8.
There we go. So plug in that 0. 8 minus 0 squared. Y is 8. So the center is 0, 8. I'll go ... The rest is the same. Is this shape going up or down?
Because it's -1 over 1, right?
-1 in the front. Down she goes. Huh? Right? U shape going down? We good? Everybody get this last one copied down? Is that good? 0, 8? Center? We all good? All right. All right, let's try this one, number 7. This is going to, I would use decimals, by the way. So when you do your -b over 2a, you'll get a 3.5. Use 3.5 as your x. Just use the decimal. Just plug in decimals. You'll see, x will come out 3.5. B over 2a. Okay, let's get 3.5 for x. So that's x. Now plug that in. Just use your calculator. Just plug in to the original y. don't know what that's going to be.
I think 2.25.
The final answer for Y?
I think
Sounds about right. Is it 2.25? Positive? So a few of you getting that. Oh, is it negative?
yeah, I got negative.
Oh, okay. Negative. Is that what you got? You guys get that on your calculator? Why is negative 2.25? If you have any trouble getting that in your calculator, come see me. Be glad to help. 10 seconds, help with calculator stuff. Real easy and quick. Good. So then the center is 3.5 negative 2.25. There's the center. Oh, they're actually for intercepts. Oh, I didn't even read the question. We're not supposed to do any of this. I'm sorry. I don't know why you guys aren't reading the questions. Notice they don't want us to graph all of a sudden. I didn't notice that. Did that happen on the last question? How? Sorry. I got to read the question. So, I was just a lesson. I was trying to show you how important it is to read the questions. All right. So, X-Intercepts. All right. How do we, so they want something totally different from us. You guys with me? They don't want the graph. They don't care about the picture. They want X-intercepts and Y-intercepts. How in the world do we find X-intercepts on a graph?
Or y equals 0.
What do we do to find X-intercepts? Anybody know? Didn't we just do it? Actually, we did it the very first day of class, I think. It's been that long. Anybody remember? To find an X-intercept, you plug in Y equals 0. Yeah, because think about it for a minute. Let me show you why. An X-intercept is where the graph hits the X-axis, like there. When you hit, you're over something, I don't know, up 0, aren't you? At an X-intercept, your Y-coordinate is 0. That's what it means. So if I say, hey, the line goes through this X-intercept, intercepts the X-axis. If you hit the X-axis, your height is 0. That's what it means to hit the X-axis, right? This dot, any dot on the X-axis is at a height of 0, isn't it? That's what it means to be on the X-axis. So if you want an X-intercept, you set Y to 0. And vice versa in a minute when they want the Y-intercepts. When you're on the Y-axis, like you're here, 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 then your X-coordinate is 0, isn't it? The other letter is 0. Is it all coming back to you now?
I was going to ask, is the y-intercept still 10?
Yep.
10?
Yeah, still. What did we say it was that before? That's what it is. I don't remember saying that before. But that's completely right.
Okay.
All right, so to find the X-intercept, we just set Y to 0. So take this equation, f of x equals x squared minus 7x plus 10, and make y 0. Where's y? This is y, isn't it? So make that 0. So I want to put that, that's a good thing to put on your 3x5 card for Monday's test. X-intercepts, make y 0. Y-intercepts, make x 0. All right, so how do I solve that equation now for x? I put in 0 for y. So how do I solve that for x now? What do I do?
Factor.
Factor, huh? Factor.
5, -2. -5, -2.
Right. Remember, you're saying what two numbers multiply to be 10, add to be minus 7. Minus 2, minus 5. Two negatives multiply to be positive. Negative 2 times negative 5 multiplies to be plus 10. They add to be negative 7. And then, so remember how this works? Just going to be opposite. So positive 2, positive 5 are the two x values. Right? So then, what does that mean about the intercepts? Well, the intercepts, remember, y 0 led to both those two answers, right? Y 0 led to both those x answers. So both those x's go with a y 0, don't they? Does that make sense? That's the points. Yeah, I'm kind of being scribbly here. We're doing a parabola. We're doing a U shape. Let me do it over here. So well, I just don't have room over there. You have to do it over here. Over to over 2 and over 5 up 0. That's the point. Over 2 up 0 and over 5 up 0. Those are the two places that the U-shape hits the x-axis, the parabola. So those are the x-intercepts. Do you see how this U-shape goes? Is this U-shape going up or down?
Down.
Look right in the front. It's +1 in the front. Up it goes, right? So that means it's a U-shape that goes something like this, huh? Is that good? So it's a U-shape going up. It goes through those two dots, those two places on the x-axis. One more thing they want us to find the Y-intercept. How do we find the Y-intercept? You set the x. Remember, it's always opposite letter, huh? To find x-intercepts, make y0. To find y-intercepts, make x0. So if I plug in x equals 0, that is going to be easy. Look what we've got. Y equals x squared minus 7x plus 10. If you make x 0, you're going to get y equals 10. All that x stuff's going to drop out, huh? You're going to get y equals 10. In other words, whatever number's off to the right, that's always the y-intercept, because that's always what you get if you make the two x's 0. Huh. It's just that number off to the right. So we can know that right away. That's always the way. So y-intercept. So what does that mean? That means that up 10, that means 0, 10, right? x0 led to y10. x0 led to y10. So that's 0, 10. That means way up here, at over 0, up 10, the U-shape hit. So my U-shape wasn't drawn so well. It really goes up like this. It goes through 2, 0, and it goes up here through 0, 10. How we doing? This good? That's how we find intercepts. There'll for sure be one intercept question on Monday's exam. So try that one. See if you can find, so don't graph it. We're done graphing. See if you can find the x-intercepts. Hey, what's the y-intercept? You can tell me right now. What's the y-intercept? 80. 0, 80 is the y-intercept. That's easy. But find the two x-intercepts. I'll be kind of impressed if you can do it. This one's a little harder.
You can always plug it into the quadratic.
Oh, you could do something else too. Either way. All right, can you do it? So let's find the x-intercepts. How do we set x-intercepts? Set y to 0. That's always what we do to find x-intercepts. So we take the equation y equals minus x squared plus 2x plus 80, and we make y 0. So now, did you guys try to factor that thing?
No.
You could,
But
but not with a negative in the front.
you'd have to take
That's a kind of a pain when you got a negative in the front like that. What should you do? You can factor it out. Remember how we learned to factor out a negative? It changes all the signs inside. Right, that's the same thing now, isn't it? Right, if I was to distribute that minus, it would go back and be the same, and change all the signs right back. You could do that, and now you could factor it.
by -1.
Or you can multiply by -1. That'll work too. Now we can factor. Right? You with me? What times what multiplies to be 80 and adds to be 2? What times what is 80? 8 and 10, huh? And how do the signs go? The sign in the middle Sign in the middle goes on the bigger. So it's plus 8 minus 10. That makes minus 2 in the middle. Multiplies to be negative 80. And then what are the actual answers? Opposite, opposite, right? What about that negative 1 in the front? Who cares? He doesn't have an x. Remember, it's only stuff with x that could multiply and be 0. We don't care about that. So negative 8 and positive 10. Is that good? A lot of people can't get that because they forget about the factoring out the negative 1 and they get confused by that negative in the front. So remember, when we factor, if you have a negative in the front, you got to factor it out. Like that. Okay, so negative 8 and positive 10. Now, and those are both going with a 0y, aren't they? They both came from y being 0, didn't they? So you make them both go with a y0. So there's the x-intercepts. What is the y-intercept? Yeah, as we said, the y-intercept, which is by setting x to 0. You put in 0 here and 0 here, y is 8. So that's the point 0, comma 8. Remember, they want a point. They want two numbers. They want an x and a y, just like they do for the x-intercepts. They also want for the y-intercepts an x and a y. There we go. Questions on that? We good with that? Are we happy about that? Is happy too strong a word? All right. I'm going to move on. Let's try that one. Okay. Find the x-intercepts. So find the x-intercepts. So that means set y to 0. So take that equation, make the y 0. Now that one, you could factor. It's hard to factor. I just plug into the quad probably. You could factor. It's harder factoring though. You know what I mean? You could factor if you remember how to do the harder factoring.
Is that when you do the
Inner outer FOIL thing, right? You could do that if you're pretty good at that. I think it's probably easier just plug in the quad for most people. So negative b. Plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2. So we got a, b, c. So this is what x equals. Negative 30 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Oh, is that 0 in there?
Yeah.
That's nice. So it's just negative 30 over 18. Divide top and bottom by 6. Negative. What are you doing? Just messing with me here. 5/3. Negative 5/3? X was negative 5/3?
Where does that come from?
I reduce the fraction.
Oh.
Did you guys get it? Did you get your negative 5/3? Did you get 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then set each of those to 0. If you factor, yeah, so for those who factored, that's a good job. If you're able to find the 3x plus 5, you've got it. You're just a step away. If you factor at 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5, you're doing great. Remember, that's equal to 0 still. So then you set each one equal to 0 separately, but you don't need to. They're the same thing twice, so just do it once. Move the 5 over. It's negative 5 divided by the 3. You got it. Negative 5/3. Right? So either way, by quad or by factoring, The answer is negative 5/3, and don't forget it's got an x and a y, right? Negative 5/3 for x, comma 0 for y.
Test one is kind of funny. It's a weird answer I've never seen before.
I'll check it out later. So is that good? There? That makes sense on that? It's weird there's only one X-intercept, huh? That's weird. How could there be only one X-intercept? I mean, you know, when you got a U shape, doesn't it have to hit the x-axis in 2 points? Right. If that's the actual starting point, huh? Exactly. Good observation. Yeah, that must be, in other words, at back 5/3 of 0, that must be the actual vertex, the center. Must be right on that point. Yeah, that's right. Good job. And that, in fact, is. Anyway, so that can happen. Y-intercept, 25, done, right? Y-intercept, well, you're supposed to go 0, comma 25, right? Easy, right? Okay, so y equals 3x squared minus x plus 3. I think you're going to have to do quad on this one. I don't think it factors. Wait, why does it start with y-intercept on this one? So what's the y-intercept? 3, right? It wants, so the y-intercept is 0, 3. We got that. That was easy. Now find the x-intercept. You're going to find the x-intercept, you got to use the quad here, right? Set y to 0, so put in a 0 for y. Get a, b, c, plug it in. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's going to be what? B is negative 1, isn't it? So negative 1 plus or minus square root of b squared, negative 1 squared, minus 4 times. No. B. Oh, does it come out imaginary? B squared minus 4 times a. Yes. Okay, we're going to see a little surprise here. Whoops, a is 3. You guys okay so far? I'm just plugging into the quad, right? A, B, and C. I'm just plugging into the quad. So far, so good. Plugging into the quad. See what's going to happen. Inside's going to be 1 minus 36. Which is minus 35. So that's imaginary, huh? You guys with me? Negative in a root is imaginary. So do you know what the x-intercepts are? They're imaginary x-intercepts. So what does that mean? They're not real. There are none. That's why it has this option. It says there's no x-intercept. There's no x-intercept. They're imaginary. They're not real. There's no x-intercept. Well, how could that be? How could a U-shaped graph? I mean, it's going to hit the x-axis twice, right? We talked about how it would hit the x-axis once if that was right the center point. That's what we had the last example. How can a U-shape not hit the x-axis at all? How can it have no x-intercepts? They're only imaginary. How could that be? How could a real-life U-shape not hit it's got to hit the x-axis either twice or once, even if it starts right on it, like the last problem, right? The center's right on it, right on the x-axis, that's 1 point, otherwise it's going to hit twice, right? Wrong, no. It can hit never. How? Yeah, exactly. Just say, hey, what if it's up here? Or what if it's down here? If it starts above it and goes up, or starts below it and goes down, it's never going to hit the x-axis. This must be one of those two cases. In fact, we know, because this one's going up, positive, it must be this kind of thing. It must start above it and go up. Yeah, probably half of them will never hit the x-axis. No x-intercepts. And the math told us right here. It said your x-intercepts are imaginary.
So
You're
you plug in
dreaming.
the Y-intercept, and then it'll ask you what's the X-intercept?
Yeah, the next question is x-intercept.
Imaginary? Or-
Yep. Not imaginary. It says there are no, but it says x. Intercept, yeah. Is that good?